We all need to develop emotional competence. Emotional competence is how we deal with our feelings and how we get along with others. We need to be able to get along with those around us. Children need to be taught how to do this. When children have emotional competence, they are better able to deal with the stresses that come their way in life. There are specific skills that go along with emotional competence. These skills allow us to handle our emotions the way we need to. The first one.
I'd try the Yorkies. Oh,
Yeah, there we go. The first one is self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to regulate ourselves and regulate our emotions and make sure that we are able to control them and do what we need to do. The second one is self-control. And again, that's when we control our emotions. We make sure that we are not doing things that we shouldn't be doing because we are angry or sad. Getting along with others is another skill that we need, and also regulating and identifying emotions. Before we can regulate our emotions, we have to be able to identify them. Children need to learn to identify their emotions, and we can do this by helping them name their emotions. So when we notice that a child is feeling sad, we need to point that I notice that you're feeling sad. What can I do to help you? And then, of course, as I said before, we need, it also includes the skill of getting along with others. Emotions have 3 parts. Those 3 parts are the feeling, expressing the emotion, and regulating the emotion, which we talked about in the previous screen. The first part is feeling. Perceiving emotions refers to feeling or noticing your own feelings. Infants start to feel or perceive basic emotions and contentment or distress by 6 weeks of age. They start to feel fear, joy, or anger by 6 to 14 weeks. And by 2 and into early childhood, the more complex feelings begin to be felt. How does an infant show when they are upset or distressed? Michael, how does an infant show when they're upset or distressed? What do they do?
I don't know.
What have you seen a baby do when they're upset?
Cry.
They cry. How would they show when they're angry? Or when they're happy? How would a baby show when they're happy?
Smile.
Smile? Good job. Perceiving the feelings of others is more complex, and it requires that the children to be able to learn cues, to read cues, and recognize happy before they recognize their others. Why is it important for children to recognize the feelings of others?
So they learn not to treat others like total trash.
Okay. Michael, why is it important to be able to recognize the feelings of others? If I'm feeling angry, why is it important for you to know that I'm angry?
So you know that you might need to give you a chance to cool down.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Good answer. Okay, expressing emotions refers to how a person communicates the feelings that they are noticing they are having. So when a child is feeling angry, they express this. They learn how to express. What are some ways that we see children express their emotions? So Michael, when you were teaching primary, how did the kids in your class show their emotions?
Acting all hyper.
They acted hyper. What if one of your kids was angry? How did they express that?
By making an angry face.
By making an angry face. Okay. Do kids' reactions to different feelings always look the same? Parker, so if you have 2 kids that are angry, are their reactions going to be the same?
No.
Why?
Because they're not AI.
Because they're not an I?
AI. They're not
AI.
programmed to react the same way every time.
Okay. So how might one child's reaction to anger look differently than another's?
One might be overreactionary, whereas one might be a little more passive about it.
Okay. There are a couple theories on how kids learn to express their emotions. One is Bronfenbrenner's theory of that they learn to express their emotions through various systems. And so he says that when kids are growing up, they have various systems that help them. They have the individual, which is themselves. And then they have their microsystem, which is their families. And that. Then there's also the social learning theory that says that children learn to express their emotions through modeling. So they see how other people are expressing their emotions, and they imitate those, and that's how they learn. And then there's also the constructionist theorists Dewey, Piaget, and Bykowski, who say they learn by talking and listening to people who are more knowledgeable than them. Regulating our emotions is the most complex emotional competencies. It refers to the understanding and managing moods of feeling responsible. This is extremely difficult for young children because it involves many different things that they have to do at the same time. They have to monitor their feelings, delineate feelings, experience feelings clearly, label feelings accurately, believe in the ability to improve feelings, and be able to use strategies that will modify their feelings. What are some strategies that you use, Michael, to modify your feelings? Like when you're angry, what do you do to regulate it?
Take deep breaths.
You take deep breaths. Parker, what do you do when you get mad?
I get alone and cool down.
You get alone and cool down. Okay, so here's some ways that we can regulate. We can take deep breaths, we can private self-talk, we can take a step back, and we can seek support from others. Who's somebody that you can go to when you are feeling angry or sad or you're emotionally distressed? Michael, who can you go to? Do you have somebody that you can go to?
I don't know.
You don't know? Parker, who do you go to when you're feeling, if you need to go to somebody?
Depends on the situation.
Depends on the situation. Okay. Anger. Anger is a common emotion that we see in most children, and is probably the hardest for them to manage. Kids and other people, they express anger in many different ways, and some of these are venting, where they'll complain to other people. Active resistance, where you just resist being mad. Expressing dislike, aggressive revenge, avoidance, and adult seeking. We see a lot of the aggressive in little kids. When they don't know how to handle their anger, they will react by hitting or biting or some other form of physical contact. Okay, so why is it important for teachers to teach emotional competence? Okay. Why is emotional competence important? Children with higher emotional intelligence are better able to pay attention, are more engaged in school, have more positive relationships, and are more empathetic. And these are all skills we want our children to have so that they can be successful in school and in life as they go. We're going to play video real quick.
There's a lot of talk these days about SEL, social emotional learning. But what exactly is it? Social emotional learning is the process of learning social and emotional skills. And it's just as important as learning reading or math. This learning process is most effective when it begins early and continues through high school. Social emotional skills are essential for success in school, work, and life. With SEL, students learn to manage their own emotions and behaviors, have empathy and show care and concern for others, solve problems effectively, make responsible decisions, and maintain healthy relationships. Students learn to recognize what's happening inside them and to be aware of their emotions, which helps them deal with strong emotions and impulsive behaviors. It helps them stop, take a breath, and think about a situation before acting. Students learn to identify others' emotions and perspectives, which helps them empathize and show compassion, no matter who they are or what their background is. It's not difficult to imagine how this is important in the classroom and in life. Students learn to solve problems in peaceful ways and communicate assertively about what they need or want. This helps them get along with other students and get the help they need from adults. When students learn to make responsible decisions about their lives and their future, things can turn out better. Research shows social emotional learning makes a difference. Students who participate in SEL do better academically, have improved attitudes and behaviors, and act in delinquent or disruptive ways less often. In the United States, students with strong social emotional competence are twice as likely to earn a college degree and nearly 50% more likely to graduate from high school and have a full-time job by age 25. Just as important, students who are socially and emotionally competent have more friends. This means they're more likely to feel connected to school and do well, and less likely to be left out or bullied. Simply put, by participating in social emotional learning, students learn the skills to succeed in every facet of school and the rest of their lives.
You can hit escape as well. You have to click on the presentation to get there.
Okay. Social or emotional competence is important not just for children to have, but for adults to have too, especially teachers. Emotional competence helps us function better. We need to be emotionally healthy to be able to form those positive interactions that we want with children. And when we do not take the time for our own emotional health, burnout can occur. Emotional competence plays a central role in determining how, what, when, and why teachers do what they do in the classroom. It influences how teachers interact with others. It's beneficial to teachers' own well-being, helps manage ups and downs, and emotional competent teachers tend to have more positive reactions with students. Some teaching strategies for emotional competence in classrooms or social stories are one. Social stories are stories that are very personalized towards the child. You make them yourself and you put pictures in them, and then it allows the child to see themselves in the story, and it makes it more personal and they can see what's going on. It's a visual learning tool, so it's really good for those visual learners. And as I said, it can be personalized to the individual child. Modeling is when we acknowledge our own feelings, and then when the kids see us acknowledge ours, they learn how they can acknowledge theirs. When we're modeling for our children, we need to make sure that we are using the words that we want them to use, like, I don't like it when you hit me. I feel mad. Role play is another way we can help our children learn emotional competence. When we role play, we allow the children to practice whatever it is we're trying to teach. We allow them to come up and practice the concept of naming their feelings and how to deal with their emotions. And it allows the teacher to help the children to work through the situation in a controlled situation. Another way we can encourage emotional competence is with positive praise. We need to notice when the children are properly handling their emotion, and we need to give objective, specific feedback. An example of this would be, Charlie, you looked mad when your friend took a toy. I noticed you took 3 breaths and then told your friend calmly that you had the toy and to please give it back. Way to go. When we acknowledge when they are handling their emotions the proper way, then they will continue to do so because they will want to get that praise again. And to conclude, they may forget what you said, but they will never forget how they made you feel. And when we are emotionally competent teachers, we can help our children become emotionally competent too.
Good.
Okay, thank you.